All right, so you're prepping for an interview as an autonomous driving specialist.
Exciting stuff.
It is. And we're going deep with RoleCatcher's guides and prep materials.
Yeah, to give you like the inside track on what to expect and really how to ace those questions.
Exactly.
This is your like personal interview coaching session.
Think of us as your coach.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Distilling the most important insights so you can walk in feeling totally confident and prepared.
Exactly. And before we jump into those questions, let's just set the stage.
Yeah.
What exactly an autonomous driving specialist?
Yeah.
What do they do?
I mean, they really are the brains behind self-driving vehicles.
Okay.
Developing testing, all to make these vehicles smarter and safer.
Okay, so that makes sense. Now, RoleCatcher highlights 10 common questions that pop up in these interviews.
Okay.
And the first one is, can you explain your experience with autonomous driving technologies?
Right.
It seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But how do you make your answers stand out?
Yeah, it's about showcasing that depth of your experience, right?
Okay.
So think about the specific technologies you've worked with, like sensor fusion or control systems, and highlight projects where you made a real difference.
Okay.
You know, did you improve an algorithm's accuracy? Did you lead the testing of a new feature? Those are the details that interviewers want to hear.
Okay, so instead of just listing technologies,
Yeah.
tell a story about your impact.
Exactly. Quantify your achievements when possible.
Okay.
So instead of saying like, oh, I improved the system, say something like, I improved the system's accuracy by 15%.
Oh, I like that.
Those numbers make your contributions tangible.
Yeah, that's a really good tip.
Yeah.
Now, what about this question? How would you ensure the safety of autonomous driving systems?
Yeah.
This one feels pretty crucial.
It is. Safety is absolutely paramount in this field.
Yeah.
So when you're answering this, think about it in layers.
Okay.
You have your rigorous testing, both simulations and real-world environments. Then you have redundancy in systems. So if one sensor fails, there's a backup. And don't forget about those fail-safe mechanisms like emergency braking.
So it's really about demonstrating a multifaceted approach to safety.
Exactly. You want to show that you've thought about this really deeply. Now, a possible follow-up to that question could be, what are some challenges in testing autonomous driving systems in those real-world environments?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
What are some things to consider there?
Yeah, well, think about the unpredictability of real-world scenarios.
Yeah.
Weather conditions, pedestrian behavior, unexpected obstacles.
Right.
You might discuss strategies for mitigating these challenges, like comprehensive scenario planning and data collection from diverse environments.
That's insightful. And RoleCatcher's AI can help you research specific company data on safety and tailor your answers, right?
Exactly. You can see what a company emphasizes. Is it urban driving? Is it highway driving?
Right.
Then you can align your answers with their priorities.
Okay, moving on to question number 3. Can you describe your experience with machine learning algorithms? Now, this is where it gets technical.
Absolutely. Machine learning is at the core of how these vehicles understand and navigate their surroundings.
Okay.
Be specific about the types of algorithms you've worked with, unsupervised reinforcement learning, and explain how you've used them. For instance, have you trained a neural network for object detection?
Okay.
Discuss that project and the results that you achieved.
So showcasing depth and practical application is key.
Yes, and be ready for those follow-up questions.
Okay.
Like, how did you choose the right algorithm for a specific task?
Okay.
Or how did you handle issues like overfitting or bias in your models?
Right. So that means really understanding those nuances of machine learning.
It does.
But don't worry, though. RoleCatcher has skill guides to brush up on those concepts,
Exactly.
if needed. Let's move on to, how do you stay up to date with the latest research and developments in autonomous driving technologies?
Okay.
Now, this one is all about demonstrating your passion and your commitment to continuous learning. So think beyond just saying like, oh, I read articles.
Yeah.
Mention specific publications conferences you attend,
Right.
or even online communities where you engage with other experts.
Yeah, it's about actively participating in the field, not just passively observing it.
Exactly. And remember, you can tailor this answer based on the specific company you're interviewing with.
Yes.
Do they have a research lab? Have they published any recent papers?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mentioning those shows you've done your homework?
Exactly.
RoleCatcher's AI can analyze company information and suggest relevant publications or conferences, right?
Absolutely. It can help you find those connections that show you're genuinely interested in their work.
Okay. All right, question 5. Can you explain your experience with control systems for autonomous vehicles?
Oh,
I know control systems are crucial,
they are.
but what specific details should someone highlight?
Control systems are what make the car move based on all the data it's receiving. So talk about the different types of control systems you've worked with and your experience in designing, implementing, or tuning them. Have you used PID controllers or model predictive control? Don't be afraid to get technical here. Interviewers want to see, your stuff.
Okay, so it's about showcasing a mastery of those core concepts.
Yes, a potential follow-up could be, how would you handle a situation where the control system encounters some unexpected behavior?
Oh, okay.
This is where you can showcase your problem-solving skills and your understanding of those fail-safe mechanisms.
That makes sense. So we've covered 5 questions so far, really diving into those technical aspects.
We have.
Ready for question 6.
Let's do it. Welcome back. We're diving right back into those interview questions.
Yeah, focusing on how to really showcase your expertise.
As an autonomous driving specialist.
Exactly. We left out talking about control systems, really getting into
The nuts and bolts.
yeah, those nuts and bolts of autonomous vehicles.
Yeah.
So let's tackle question 6. Can you describe your experience with sensor fusion for autonomous driving?
Okay.
I know this is all about combining data from all these different sensors, right?
Yeah. It is sensor fusion is how an autonomous vehicle gets a complete picture of its environment.
Okay.
It's about taking data from LiDAR, radar cameras, and other sensors and intelligently combining it to make accurate decisions.
Okay. So what kind of experience should someone highlight when answering this?
Yeah. Focus on the specific sensors you've worked with and how you've used their data.
Okay.
Have you developed algorithms for object detection tracking or localization using sensor fusion?
Okay.
Talk about those projects and the techniques you used. For example, you could mention Kalman filtering or Bayesian networks. Those are common approaches in sensor fusion.
So it's about showing you understand how to make all those different sensors work together.
Work together effectively, exactly.
Yeah.
A potential follow-up could be, what are some of the challenges in sensor fusion and how have you addressed them?
Well, that's interesting.
This is where you can talk about things like sensor noise data synchronization or dealing with conflicting information from different sensors.
Okay, so that shows that you've thought about those practical complexities. Okay, let's move on to question 7. How do you ensure the reliability of autonomous driving systems?
Okay.
This one feels like a big one,
It is.
especially with safety being so critical.
Reliability is absolutely essential.
Yeah.
You want to demonstrate that you understand that these systems need to work consistently and safely.
Right.
So talk about your approach to testing, both in simulation and in real-world environments.
Okay.
Mention different testing methodologies like unit testing, integration testing, and system testing.
So again, it's about demonstrating that rigorous, multi-layered approach to testing.
It is. You could also discuss your experience with data analysis and monitoring to proactively identify and address potential issues before they become major problems.
Okay.
For example, you could talk about using statistical methods to analyze system logs or developing automated monitoring tools to track key performance indicators.
That's smart. It shows you're not just testing, but you're actively learning and improving the system.
Right.
Now, RoleCatcher's AI can be helpful here.
All right.
Right? It can analyze a company's data on reliability and safety standards.
Absolutely. You can see what a company prioritizes and align your answers with their specific concerns. For instance, if they highlight the importance of fault tolerance, you can discuss your experience with designing redundant systems.
So helpful. Okay, let's move on to question 8. Can you describe your experience with localization and mapping for autonomous driving systems?
Okay.
This is all about the vehicle understanding its position and the world around it.
Exactly. Localization and mapping are fundamental to autonomous navigation.
Okay.
Talk about the different techniques you've used, GPS, SLAM, odometry. Explain your experience in working with these techniques, the specific tools and software you've used, and the results you've achieved.
So it's about showcasing that deep understanding of these technologies and how they all work together.
Yes. You could also discuss your experience with different mapping representations like occupancy grids, point clouds, or feature maps. And don't forget to mention the challenges involved in localization and mapping,
Okay.
such as dealing with dynamic environments or sensor limitations.
All right, this is really getting into the core of how autonomous vehicles navigate. Now, a potential follow-up question could be, how would you handle situations where GPS signals are unreliable or unavailable,
Right.
like in tunnels or urban canyons?
That's a great point. This is where you can discuss sensors like LiDAR or inertial measurement units, IMUs, can be used to maintain accurate localization even when GPS is limited.
Okay, ready for question 9. This one's about security. How do you ensure the security of autonomous driving systems?
Okay.
It feels like security is becoming increasingly important in all areas of technology.
Absolutely. Security is paramount, especially with systems as complex and interconnected as autonomous vehicles.
Right.
So when you're answering this question, demonstrate a multi-layered approach, discuss different security measures like encryption for data transmission authentication to prevent unauthorized access and intrusion detection systems to identify and respond to potential threats.
So it's about having a really comprehensive strategy to protect the system from different types of attacks.
Exactly. You could also mention secure software development practices and how they play a crucial role in building secure systems from the ground up, for example. You could discuss your experience with code reviews, static analysis tools, and penetration testing to identify and fix vulnerabilities early in that development process.
It's impressive how much detail goes into building these systems.
It is.
Now, I know RoleCatcher's AI can help candidates tailor their answers based on specific company data on security concerns and industry best practices.
Absolutely. You can research a company's history, see if they've had any public security issues, and align your answers accordingly. It shows you're proactive and understand the nuances of their specific situation.
Okay, so we've covered 9 questions so far. Ready for the final question in this set.
Let's do it. Or welcome back to the final part of our deep dive.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground exploring those common interview questions.
We have, and really
Well.
getting into those technical details.
But now let's shift gears a bit
Yeah.
and talk about how you can leverage RoleCatcher's AI to really take your preparation to the next level.
Yeah, it's like having a personalized coach
Oh, I like that.
guiding you through every step of the process.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's start with VV. How can RoleCatcher's AI help with that?
Okay, well, think about those keywords and skills that employers are really looking for.
Right.
RoleCatcher's AI can analyze job descriptions and identify those key elements,
Okay.
and then suggest ways to optimize your CV to really highlight those strengths.
So it's not just about listing your skills. It's
Oh.
about showcasing them in a way that aligns with what employers want.
Exactly. It's about making sure your CV stands out and grabs their attention, and the AI can also help you identify any gaps in your skills or experience.
Okay.
And suggest ways to address them.
That's so helpful, especially in such a competitive field.
Yeah.
But what about the interview itself?
Yeah.
How can AI help with that?
Well, remember all those tough questions we discussed.
Yeah.
RoleCatcher's AI can analyze those questions and provide you with personalized insights and suggestions for crafting those compelling answers.
So it's like having a mock interview
Yeah.
with an expert who knows exactly what interviewers are looking for.
Exactly. It can also help you identify potential follow-up questions and prepare for different interview scenarios.
Okay.
For instance, it can help you practice answering questions about your weaknesses or handling those challenging behavioral questions.
But what about practicing your delivery?
Yeah.
I know I always get a little nervous before interviews.
Well, RoleCatcher's got you covered there, too. Its AI-powered video practice feature allows you to record yourself answering interview questions
Oh, wow.
and receive feedback on your delivery body language and overall presentation.
That's amazing. It's like having a personal coach analyzing your every move.
It's all about helping you present your best self and project confidence and competence. The AI can even analyze your tone of voice and provide suggestions for improvement.
Wow. So RoleCatcher's AI can help you tailor your CV craft compelling answers and even practice your delivery. It's like having an all-star team of career coaches.
At your fingertips.
Exactly. At your fingertips.
Absolutely. And it's all accessible through an easy-to-use platform designed to make your interview preparation as efficient and effective as possible.
This has been so insightful. Before we wrap up, let's revisit that final question from the previous segment.
Okay.
How do you ensure the security of autonomous driving systems? I'd love to tie this back to RoleCatcher.
Great point. Remember, we talked about a multi-layered security approach, encryption, authentication, intrusion detection, secure coding practices. What's interesting is that RoleCatcher's AI can help you research a company's specific security posture.
Oh, so you can tailor your answer to like their vulnerabilities or concerns.
Exactly. You can see if they've had any public security incidents, understand what frameworks they use, maybe even find out what security certifications they prioritize. It's about aligning your knowledge with their needs.
That level of detail could really impress an interviewer.
Absolutely. It shows
Yeah.
you've done your research and are genuinely interested in contributing to their security efforts.
Well, I think we've given our listeners a solid foundation for acing their autonomous driving specialist interviews. Any final thoughts?
Remember, this is a rapidly evolving field,
It is.
so continuous learning is key.
Yeah.
Stay curious, embrace those new technologies, and never stop exploring.
Couldn't agree more. And don't forget to check out RoleCatcher's platform and see how its AI features can help you land that dream job. Good luck with your interviews, everyone.